What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN's live stream of SoulCalibur V. I am your host, Damon Hatfield. I'm joined by Rich Bentegui from Namco Bandai, also known as Filthy Rich.
Yes.
And will be known as Filthy Rich from henceforth. Also here today is Stephen Hopper, executive editor of IGN's Xbox channel.
What's up, everybody?
So right now, Rich is just going to play through the single-player arcade mode to unlock a new boss. That'll take 10 or 15 minutes, and then Stephen and Rich will be going at it hardcore for the rest of the hour.
Yes.
Oh man.
So Stephen, you've played a bunch of SoulCalibur V.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about it. The game, we should say, the game's out next Tuesday, January 31st. You're getting an early look at it here. What are your thoughts on it? What's new? What's exciting?
There's a lot of really new, really awesome additions that they've brought to the table. One of the biggest of which would be the critical edge system, which is, tell us a little bit about that. It's like a super move for each character that takes a ton of damage.
Yes.
And is gauge-based.
So it is a gauge-based move. I mean, you can see on the top left that you're actually going to spend time building up that meter, either by blocking or doing just guards or whatever you can. And then I'm going to try to do it right here. Oh man. But basically, it's a way to get out a significant amount of damage in just a little bit of time.
Okay.
And it's going to play a big role for a lot of different characters. For every single one, like all the characters have their own type of critical edge moves. So just trying to figure out like what works best in which situation to be able to utilize it is going to probably be one of the funnest things of the game. Because it's not, there's so many ways to go into it.
Definitely. And in terms of other gameplay features, like what are some of the other new moves?
I think well, there's new moves like the whole. You know, if you did have a returning character, the addition of moves that went into that character, along with the actual system of the game, is insane.
Okay.
So you do have new moves, but then you also have Brave Edge versions of some of the moves, and then you also have their critical edge. Critical edge moves. But I think the biggest part of this game for me is, and I think for a lot of the 3D community, is just the quick step. So just being able to really circle around your opponents, I think, is a big part of the game, and really stands out as it being like a true 3D game. Because you're constantly sidestepping, and I mean, it really plays a good, it's really good if you actually have it incorporated into your game.
So viewers, not only are we giving you an early look at SoulCalibur V today, Namco Bandai has generously shared 5 copies of the Collector's Edition that we're going to be giving away this hour. If you want to win one, all you have to do is tweet us at IGN with the hashtag SoulCalibur V, SoulCalibur V, and ask us a question about the game. Just like, let's see here, Jesse Rodriguez did. Jesse wants to know, can you counter the special moves?
Special moves, so there, oh, you mean by critical edge? That's what I'm guessing.
Sure, let's go with that.
So you can actually, all the moves, you know, including some of the Brave Edge moves, you can just guard. And for the critical edges, there's some that you cannot. So I guess just sitting in the lab trying to figure out which ones you can. But I think the greatest part about it is trying to figure it out is that in practice mode, you can actually set the computer to just guard everything. So just by trial and error, you'll be able to figure out which ones you can just guard and which ones you can't.
You're playing as Maxi.
Yes.
You're saying he's one of the flashier characters?
He's so flashy. He uses, I mean, he consumes a lot of his, the edge meter that you do build up. But I think I like his damage output. He's one of those characters that are constantly attacking, so it plays a big role in what the guard break that we haven't really brought up yet. But you can see his life blinking yellow right now. If I continue to hit him for a good amount, his bar is eventually going to turn red, and then if I break it, I get a free guaranteed hit. And what that's going to do for me is the following attack after that's going to hit as a counter hit move. And in this game, counter hit moves, certain moves have different properties on how it affects the opponent, if it's a regular hit or a counter hit move. So, I mean, for the most part, the counter hits allow you to kind of extend your combos. So it lets that craziness and that creativity come out, and plays a big role. I like him. He can always attack. I'm always sitting on my edge bar. I got a good amount, and I got tons of options. So he's a pretty cool character.
Stephen, have you played enough to find your favorite character yet?
My favorite character? You know, at first, I have to admit, I wasn't very sold on Ezio.
Really?
Yeah, he felt a bit slower and kind of more, I don't know, kind of more tankish compared to other characters. But it's just kind of a matter of getting into the right rhythm with him. Like, if you can, you know, figure out the best way to take advantage of his strength and take advantage of your opponent when they're, you know, not anticipating the the delays in his attacks. Like it's, you know, he can be a really good character and a pretty strong one too.
Yeah, in case any viewers hadn't heard, Ezio from Assassin's Creed is a guest character in SoulCalibur V. Someone was asking about him. Who was that? They're asking if you have to unlock him or if he's available right from the very beginning.
Oh, he's unlockable from the start. Okay. So you can hop right in and shoot people in the face.
Nice.
Without even having to work too hard.
You do have all of Ezio's tools too as well.
Yeah,
like he's got his assassin blade and his sword, his crossbow, and his
handgun.
Yeah, his handgun.
Gary wants to know, are critical finishes still in the game?
No, they're not. So, I mean, that's what we did. We changed it around so that you do have the guard break. So, I mean, in an instance where, you know, in SoulCalibur 4, where you had to break the guard, you'd hit A plus B plus, you know, all the buttons, you get the automatic win. But this, you know, we want the matches to last a little bit longer. So we've gone ahead and just got rid of it and implemented all these new features. So.
So what was behind the decision to include critical edge attacks in the game? Was it just kind of a matter of like staying competitive within the fighting genre? Because it seems like a lot of games have that real, you know, hyper finish type move.
I mean, we do see it a lot right now. You know, a lot of the popular games are really incorporating that into the game, but I think a lot of it really comes from our developer right now. And like one of the head guys that we have is Otoshima, you know, Daishi Otoshima. And him coming from like a competitive background, I think that he wants to go ahead and bring as many people into this game as possible. So we look at it as a way for people to kind of enjoy the game and just hop right into all the craziness. Because I mean, you've seen it, you initiate like a Brave Edge or a Critical Edge, the game is just insanely flashy. So I think that right there, it'll draw people into the game, and hopefully by the time they put their hands on it, they start to fall in love with the mechanics and like what makes SoulCalibur 5. So I mean, it just, you know, I think it just happens to be that all these other competitors have it incorporated within their system, but it makes this game like none other SoulCalibur. So we hope it'll turn out well.
Yeah.
Ryan Simmons wants to know, will there be a spectator mode in versus multiplayer?
Can we go into that? So I think one of the cool things is that in the online version, online mode, you know, you have a lobby system that you can watch the matches. But one of the cool things that you can do, I mean, right now, I don't think anyone wants to hear anyone talk smack to each other, like a little 13-year-old cursing you up better than you ever heard in your life. But we've incorporated a text chat, so while you're watching the matches, people can commentate on what's going on. And I think that like lives up to like the hype that's going on right now for the fighting game community or any competitive gaming community, where you know you watch streams. You can talk to each other, be like, oh my God, this is going crazy. And I think, you know, we're bringing that in. So spectators in it, and then we've also included the chat mode.
Nice.
Level 3, Maxi level 3.
How many levels are there to unlock the boss?
Well, the boss, what we have to do right now is we just have to finish this. This is one of the ways that we can unlock the boss that we're going to show in a little bit. Okay. But what the level system that you've seen on the bottom right is kind of a bragging rights for online, or if you got your buddies who coming over the house like, oh my God, you're like level 99, it really shows that you've been putting in the work, because you get points after, you know, single player matches, versus matches. You know, these are points that you can acquire that, you know, unlock new features in the game, whether it's like a character creation type of costume, but I think for the most part, just to be like, yo, that guy rocks.
Even are you studying Phil Hewer's moves?
Yeah,
you ready to take them on?
Erase that round. Erase that round from your memory.
Keeping a close eye. So now, who is your favorite character from the SoulCalibur universe? Not just in 5, but
the universe.
Yeah.
I always like the badasses. So I'm really a big fan of Nightmare. But in this game right now, I'm liking Mitsurugi, just because he's like a gangster. Like he's a straight up G. He hits you 1 or 2 times and you lose a lot of life, and I really like that aspect of him. He's the original samurai, but
gotcha.
I think as I'm playing, Viola. I think Viola for me right now is like the most exciting character that I can play for a fighting game, especially for like a 3D fighting game. She has so many things in the game that are just so far into the SoulCalibur universe, but it fits. Like where she incorporates a ball, like a whole lot of spacing, like for a lot of fighting game freaks, or they're gonna like her because like the amount of space that she can control. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose to this.
Steven's distracting you.
Yes. Apologies. Let me put Max in his place.
Well, you...
Uh-oh, it's getting exciting.
About a critical edge. Oh,
exciting.
Got him.
Yeah, so Viola, Maxi, I like Nightmare, the whole roster. I mean, I've been playing with the whole roster, and it's been pretty bad because I haven't really messed around with all the girls too much. So...
I think it's a good time to give away a copy of the game. Remember, viewers, if you want to win a copy of SoulCalibur 5, just tweet us at IGN with the hashtag SoulCalibur 5. Just like, let's see here.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Let's give a copy of the game to Andrew Hanshoe, who asks, seems like the developer wanted to place emphasis on the story in SoulCalibur 5. Is that true? And if so, what kind of a story can we expect?
The story, absolutely. I mean, you've seen in the previous ones where we want to go ahead and just fill everybody in on the story. That's one of those things where it helps you justify why you want to play one character. So the story in this is pretty cool. I mean, not to get too far into it because I don't want to spoil anything, but you're going to learn a lot about what had happened in SoulCalibur 4 and how it runs into SoulCalibur 5. Because, I mean, it's 17 years.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot to fill in. But, you know, when you hop into story mode, you're going to hop in as the main character of the game. And you're just going to learn more about what had happened before and, like, all the crazies that happened in between. But basically, like, his struggle to find out just to be the badass of SoulCalibur 5. So, story mode is pretty cool. There's a ton of things in there. You know, you're not just bound to one character. You get to go around. It forces you to learn all these different characters. And it's a good step to hop right into the game. I suggest it for anybody who just is going to turn on SoulCalibur 5, hop into story mode. There's a ton of things. You unlock stuff, so you're not just playing for no reason other than the story. You're unlocking characters and doing fun stuff, too.
Speaking of unlocking characters, it looks like
Look,
you've...
here we go.
Yeah, looks like you're taking on our big boss reveal, which is Killick. Killick is back.
Yes, Killick's back. So what he's, I mean, you can see, I mean, we all know Killick to be the most F user, but you know, he's changed his stances 2 times in 2 rounds. So right now he's he's able to go ahead and take on all of the male weapons. So, you know, he can go switch between like Siegfried, Maxi, any of those guys. And it's basically anybody, you know, your SoulCalibur Pro, who's gonna be nice with every character in the game, is gonna like. Because you get to switch up your style, and you know, he's back. He's back to pretty much show off as like, yo, I know how to use every weapon. I'm gonna beat you up.
Spoken like a true champ.
Yes.
Sorry. I don't think he's really sorry.
Full of it, man.
Oh my god, that's some Raphael action. Oh, he's gonna kill me.
Stephen, Jesse Dollywall asks, if you had to compare Ezio's fighting style to an existing SoulCalibur character, who would it be?
I wouldn't.
I don't know, nobody?
Yeah,
Totally unique?
I don't know. I mean, it would have to be one of the bigger heavy hitter characters, someone like, you know, Nightmare, Siegfried. Even though that's a pretty bad comparison because the movesets are completely different. It's really hard to gauge. I mean, you know, when you play SoulCalibur 5, you'll notice what we're talking about. I mean, he's a completely different character, and he really doesn't compare to other ones, at least in that way, you know. I mean, would you agree, Rich?
I mean, I agree in the sense that, yeah, he hits, oh my god, he hits like a truck, but his move list and what he has is completely unique.
Yeah.
So I like that. You know what I mean? You know how it's the new exclusive character, it's got its own move list, and you have to really sit in practice mode to try to figure out what makes him awesome. But
it's kind of that blend of like up close, huge damage, and also like ranged attacks that he can pull off with his you know, gun and crossball.
Cool, so we unlocked Killick.
Let's do this.
Now you guys can jump into some verses. Steven, does it bother you that Rich has a Namco fighting stick and you have a DualShock there?
I'll manage. I don't know if I had a stick, if I'd really have much of an advantage. I'm pretty sure Rich is gonna just mop the floor with me right now.
Viewers, this is the collector's edition for SoulCalibur 5. You can win this. Just keep watching. We already gave 1 copy away. We have 4 more we're going to give away for the system of your choice. So stay tuned for that. Remember to tweet us at IGN, the hashtag SoulCalibur 5 if you have any questions you want to know about the game. Right, who are you guys going to be?
You know what?
We'll start out with Ezio.
anyone on Twitter?
Oh yeah, yeah. Twitter, let us know like who you want them to play as.
I'm trying to play as many characters as possible.
Yeah.
So you got Ezio. I think people want to see Viola. So I was talking her up.
Yeah.
Stages are insane. I think the new thing that's awesome in this is kind of like the evolution, like the stage and the map. Like there's some stages that you've seen earlier where if you beat me so much, we're gonna transition to a brand new map. So it could be like how that one area was where I fought Killick, and I was on a boat. We're on that like log type of boat, and then we transitioned off to like one area where it's 3 walls and 1 open. I think that's a cool part of the game. There are tons of stages where you're like, oh snap, but like it totally changed from how it looked initially. Cool. So throw guys around.
Yeah, so how does Viola's orb work?
So the way that it works, to simplify it, is that she's got 2 stances, one with the orb and one without. So a lot of the moves, like her move set, like I could do something like BBB right now and it'll pull it behind me because the ball wasn't, because I didn't have that stance. But if I do it where I have the ball, there we go. We're going crazy. But if I have it with it, if I press BBB, like I'll attack twice and I'll place the ball right behind the opponent. So hopping into it, they're like, number one, you got a new move list. Like there's some brave edges that can only be activated without the ball or with the ball. And it just adds to like her arsenal of how she wants to be defensive. Because I think at a close range, like when I have the ball with me, like I got a lot of moves that'll push you out. But then I could also do moves that'll push you up and then place the ball right next to you. But I think a cool thing is how it kind of manipulates the her brave edge or her critical edge. So I can put it there and basically, oh my god, I just killed me. So like, depending on where I put her ball, basically her critical edge properties is that sucks you up, kind of has a vacuum type of thing where you have to block, and it sets me up for a lot of options. Nice. But I have to be really strategic on how I place the ball. So like those moves that'll place the ball behind you, I'm gonna kind of aim for that. But she's not one of those characters that are bound to it. As strong as her critical edge may seem, I think the advanced player is gonna be like, yo, she's an insane character when she has like a full bar. Because her brave edge combos, if I can land one right now.
Ezio, you're so close.
Oh man.
Like stuff like that, where you know she can constantly juggle the opponent, you know, putting you on pressure. She's a really cool character, and I think that there are going to be 2 types of players, like ones that like to play from range and ones that like to play close. So you have your hardcore guys who could just maximize from any range or anything that's put in front of them. It's really cheap.
Together.
So close.
Oh man.
All right. Mike Andronigo wants to see, forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, is it Zwei?
Zwei, okay, yes, Zwei. I have to say it in that voice because I don't know the proper way, and I got like Tago-san over here who'll throw something at my head if I say it the wrong way.
And then Brandon DeMiro wants to see Cervantes.
Oh, Cervantes. Okay, here we go.
He's looking good in this game. He's got a skin back.
Yeah, he is. He's real Ricardo Montalban looking.
Look at that hat.
That open chest and.
So Zwei. So a new character. The coolest thing about this character is the fact that he has a familiar iron with him. So this is gonna change the game on how people are gonna like pace. Oh my god! Like how they're gonna play against a character like Zwei, because he's got a ton of different ranges that he can play at. Like from close range, he can hit like a truck. But what I could do is if I find that you're just gonna be backdashing or sidestepping, I can call iron just like I did right there. And you know, he can hit people. I can do moves that are you know, all dependent on what you're doing. Like if you're just playing at me, if you're coming at me forward, or if you're sidestepping, there's a ton of different options that I have. He's pretty advanced. Like he's a really advanced character that you have to really be patient, and you're not gonna be attacking like you would with somebody like Natsu. You're not gonna constantly be on that rush. You're gonna really try to get as many like just guards or you know, guard impacts as much as possible, so you can get a good amount of damage out, because he's not the best pull character, but once he hits you, it's over.
Let's give away another copy of the game. This one's going to go to Scott Koth, who asks, character creation was always my favorite part of SoulCalibur. Is it back, and have there been any changes?
Yes. Character creation is back. You got 50 slots to go ahead and make as many characters as you want within that 50. There are two things that you can do. Is you can actually create a character, straight from the ground up. You know, the sex, the size, muscle type, voice, the attire, clothing, and everything. So you can do that. Or what you can do is with the existing cast that we have, you can kind of make like a 3-piece suit or like a 4-piece suit. So, you know, within the character selection screen, you know, you're not changing the size of the character, just basically what they're wearing. And I think that's a good thing. This way, you know, if you want to do a quick one, you like Cervantes' moveset, that's a good way to hop into it.
Well, Scott, we'll definitely get your copy of SoulCalibur 5 out to you next week. And we still have 3 copies of the game to give away, so remember, viewers, just tweet us at IGN with hashtag SoulCalibur 5. Any questions you have about the game and any characters you want us to see playing. That automatically enters you to win.
Cervantes is really crazy too. He's got a lot of stuff, a lot of fan favorite stuff that he has, like including his just frame where he gets to do torpedo across the screen, kick your butt, do all crazy stuff. His gunshots are back. Really, like a really heavy hitter, but oh my gosh, he's just going all out right now. Oh my gosh, splashing with the tech, and he's got a gun. So Cervantes, yeah, Cervantes is a really good character. Been messing around, sitting in the lab with him. He's got a lot of juggle properties, other cool things with that character, and unblockables too.
Yeah, like his critical edge, which is just completely unblockable.
Yes.
It's awesome.